even educated on the state's Small Business Credit Initiative. My name is Troy Farmer, and I am with the Small Business Development Center, and I'm the program manager overseeing the state's Small Business Credit Initiative for technical assistance as well as training. Here you will learn more about the state's Small Business Credit Initiative, how you can engage, who it's for, and how it will help you in the funding process. You will also hear from our friends that have joined us today through the Division of Small Business, our lenders, True Access Capital, Del One, and Community Bank, Delaware, as well as SBDC's very own Tom Thunstrom. Yes, I did call him out today. So we thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you so very much. Please get comfortable, get settled, and lean into this conversation. Let's get started. I'd like to introduce our very own State Director for the Small Business Development Center, and he is also CEO of the Delaware Technology Park. Mike Bowman, come on in.
Thank you, Troy. So the SBDC, you probably know something about. We've been around 40 years, and our partners are the SBA and the Division of Small Business. This program's a little bit different because our partner, while still the same Division of Small Business, is more connected to what Treasury has initiated. A very simple overview of what does the SBDC do? We inform, we coach, and we connect. And today is about inform. Later on, Tom Thunstrom will tell you a little bit more about the details of the different program support we can offer. We are the technical assistance arm working for the state on this program. And in that role, we will help connect and also counsel as needed those on the call when you're all done listening to this opportunity for more attractive lending. A lot of this comes about, in this case, Treasury, but preceded by SBA programs. You recall 4 years ago with COVID, there was the CARES program, the CARES Act, and that had to do with PPP loans and EIDL loans and that kind of thing. Followed up by what we did in Community Navigators, which was a 2-year program. And all of this was aimed at going deeper into the communities that had social economic challenges. And that's the whole point of this program. It's no different in that sense. Troy Farmer not only leads this program, she was our leader most through all these other 4 years of how to reach more difficult to reach communities that didn't understand what their opportunities were, what these programs were, and how they might get help. And that's what our job is. So I'm going to stop there and introduce you to Regina Mitchell, who is our partner in Division of Small Business, awesome state program. And they're going to tell you a lot about the program and then the lenders of how to actually, the details of lending. Tom will tell you about, of course, how the SBDC can help you. Regina.
Thank you, Mike. And thanks to all of you for joining us this morning. We at the division, we're so excited to be partnering with the SBDC on this program. We work closely with them on a variety of programs, and the SBDC really is such a valuable asset to the state and to our small businesses here. So when the opportunity arose for us to identify an organization to provide this technical assistance for our SSBCI programs, it was a really obvious choice given their track record. They are experts at providing counseling and advice to small business owners. So we know they will do an excellent job at getting our SSBCI funds out and into the hands of our small businesses throughout the state. That's what we are anxious to have happen. We have this funding available and we want to get it to our small businesses so that they can utilize it and use it to grow and expand their businesses. So now I'm going to turn it over to the division's business finance director, Andrew Harton. Andrew oversees all of our grant and loan programs, and he'll be able to provide an overview of how the SSBCI program specifically works.
Thank you, Regina. We can go on to the next slide from here if you'd like. We can jump right into it. All right, so yeah, today we're going to talk about the State Small Business Credit Initiative, often referred to as SSBCI. Next up, please. All right, so just a brief overview of SSBCI. So SSBCI, it's a federal program. It's administered by the U.S. Department of Treasury, and the Treasury provided an allocation to all 50 states, and the states were allowed to use that funding to support programs to help get money into the hands of small businesses, right? Small business owners. So Delaware was awarded $60.9 million, and our goal is to deploy that funding over the next 10 years, again, to help small businesses gain access to capital. So we have four programs, but two of which we're going to talk about today, and those are our two lending programs. So we have the Delaware Loan Participation Program and the Delaware Capital Access Program. So from a business owner's perspective, right, what can SSBCI funds be used for? And the answer is a really broad range of business purposes, right? So as long as it's a business looking for a loan for a business purpose, odds are it's going to be eligible. So common expenses, startup costs, working capital, equipment, inventory, fit out improvements for an eligible place of business, even the purchase of an eligible place of business. And the role of SSBCI is to work with lending institutions in Delaware, so either banks, credit unions, or CDFIs, to help lenders make loans to borrowers that might not otherwise qualify for a loan. So typically, this would be a borrower who goes to a lender that maybe has a successful business model, maybe has cash flow, but doesn't have sufficient collateral for the lender to make the deal work. But there could be other examples, right? So maybe a business, a lender requires a business to be around for 3 years or have 3 years of financials. Maybe this business has only been around for 1.5 years, kind of represents an elevated risk to the lender. That's where the lender can request from us, the Division of Small Business, to enroll this business in one of these two SSBCI programs, and we can help lower the risk for the lender and help make loans work for the borrower. Okay, next up. All right, so most business purpose loans, right, will qualify. There's only a handful that are not allowed. So one really common one is acquiring or holding passive investments in real estate. So if you're like house flipping, or if you're just someone who's looking to acquire a commercial building to lease it to another tenant, that is something that wouldn't qualify. I will say there's a little asterisk there because there are some exceptions. For example, if you were a business that had maybe you had two businesses and one was a holding company that you wanted to use to acquire a commercial building that you were then going to lease to one of your own operating companies, that would be allowed, right? That type of business purpose would be allowed. Or if you were a business that needed to acquire a larger space, but maybe you were going to use, let's say, 60% of that space and planned on leasing the other 40%, then that's an exception that would be allowed. But other common prohibited uses of SSBCI funds, you got repayment of income taxes. It can't be used to purchase the ownership interest in a business, so you can't buy out your partner with SSBCI funding. And when you use SSBCI funding in combination with an SBA guaranteed loan or an unguaranteed portion of a loan, there is quite a few extra approval steps. So typically, this is something that's used separate from SBA, right? So maybe an SBA program isn't the best. This is where SSBCI comes in. All right, next up. All right, so what businesses are eligible? So, almost all businesses are eligible. So corporations, partnerships, independent contractors, even nonprofits are eligible, cooperatives. The business has to have less than 500 employees for our Delaware Capital Access Program and less than 750 employees for our loan participation program. Typically, we're dealing with small businesses that are much smaller than that. Can't be a business engaged in speculative activities, maybe a day trader or something like that. Can't be engaged in pyramid sales, and if this last bullet point here, cannot make, sell, or service or distribute products or services used in connection with federally prohibited activities, that's really referring mostly to marijuana-related businesses. Maybe you're looking to start a dispensary, even if it's legal in Delaware, you can't use SSBCI funds to start that business again, because this is ultimately administered by the U.S. Department of Treasury. So the first program I want to talk about is our Delaware Loan Participation Program. So the idea behind the Loan Participation Program is that this can help businesses obtain kind of medium to long-term financing, up to 10-year term loans, to help a business grow or expand or acquire new space, fit out, whatever it is, any of those eligible business purposes. And the idea here is that a borrower would visit one of our participating lenders. We have all 3 participating lenders on the call today. That's Del One Federal Credit Union, True Access Capital, and Community Bank Delaware. So let's say you visit one of our participating lenders and you're looking for, a loan, let's say a $500,000 loan, $1 million loan for your business. Now, if the lender felt that maybe you didn't have sufficient collateral, or if you weren't able to maybe meet their debt service coverage requirement, right, which typically they want to see at least a 1.25 debt service coverage for your business, that is an opportunity for the lender to then request the Division of Small Business to purchase a participation in the loan from the lender. So quite simply, let's say it's $1 million loan, the lender might request that the Division of Small Business purchase half of that loan, so $500,000, and we would provide our own interest rate. We have much more flexible loan to value requirements, and that would allow the deal to happen. Now, from the borrower's perspective, you're still only interacting with the lender, right? So this is really kind of stuff that happens on the back end. As a borrower, you don't even really need to know too much about it. Just know that this tool is there. If you're being denied financing, one of our participating lenders might be able to help you by enrolling you in this SSBCI program. All right, next up. So some of the key program characteristics. So this is a recent update we've made to the program, and this is really important, not just for lenders, but for borrowers to know as well. So our interest rate on the loan participation program is going to range from 3 to 5% fixed, right, up to a 10-year term. So if you are a normal borrower, right, you would come in and you would be eligible for a 5% interest rate on our portion of the loan, right? If there's 2 additional qualifications that the SSBCI program talks about. So if your business is considered a very small business, meaning you have less than 10 employees, then you would get a 1% interest rate reduction. Your interest rate would then be 4% on our portion of the loan. If the business is majority owned by what the SSBCI would call a SETI individual, so this is a socially or economically disadvantaged individual. So this would be a woman-owned business, majority woman-owned business, a majority minority-owned business, majority veteran-owned business. There's also a number of other categories. If your business is located in a CDFI investment area, again, this isn't all for you to know. You can just inquire with me or with the Division of Small Business, and we'll let you know if your business is a SETI-owned business. But that would, if you are a SETI-owned business, that would result in an additional 1% reduction in your interest rate. So just to put this in perspective, if you're a business that is, let's say, majority female owned, and it's also a very small business, less than 10 employees, then your interest rate, if the bank were to enroll you in this loan participation program, would be 3% fixed on our portion of the loan. So this also is a tool for lenders to help reduce the amount of debt that you're required to service. So maybe your business couldn't handle an 8% loan, but it could handle a loan that's half 8% and half 3%. So it's a really great tool for lenders to use to make loans work. So a couple other limitations that borrowers should know about. The entire loan amount cannot exceed $5 million, right? So this is, the intent, again, small businesses, smaller loan size, under $5 million. We typically see deals that are around the $200,000 to $500,000 range in the past. And again, just to reiterate, while the borrower may start with us, maybe they inquire about SSBCI through one of our regional business managers or just want to learn more information, they ultimately, when it comes to the loan, are dealing only with our participating lenders. So there's only one point of contact there. All right, next up. So next I want to talk just briefly about our Delaware Access Program. So with the Delaware Access Program, again, this is designed to support a business that maybe has a minor collateral or credit issue or time in business issue that a lender perceives this business to be, and lending to this business to be an elevated risk. Lenders can enroll this business in our Delaware Capital Access Program. And on the back end, the way that this functions is when a loan is enrolled in the Delaware Capital Access Program, the borrower will be required to put down a 2% reserve fund deposit. That's 2% of the loan amount. So if it's a $100,000 loan, right, $2,000. The borrower would make an additional 2% deposit. The lender makes a 2% deposit, right, and then into a reserve fund. And we, the Division of Small Business, will make it a 4% deposit with our SSBCI funding, and then anywhere from 0 to a 20% of the loan amount deposit into a reserve fund. Additionally from our strategic fund, if the business is a very small business or if the business is a SETI-owned business. So again, if your business is a SETI-owned business and a very small business, we would make an additional 20% deposit of the loan amount into a reserve fund. And the borrower doesn't need to know too much about this aside from that initial 2% deposit. But the idea here is that the lender can enroll borrowers in this program to reduce their risk, because that reserve fund belongs to the lender. That's there for them to draw in case the borrower defaults in the future or is unable to make payments. It, again, is a tool to help lenders make deals happen that otherwise wouldn't, especially for those borrowers that are SETI-owned or are very small businesses. And again, this is for 5-year to 10-year term loans, right? All right, next up. All right, so the place for a business owner to start. So let's say you're starting from scratch. This is the first time you've heard about the SSBCI program. A great place for you to start is by speaking with us here at the Division of Small Business, specifically one of our regional business managers. So the Division of Small Business has 4 regional business managers. We have a business manager that handles businesses that are located in Sussex County, one for Kent County, and we have 2 business managers for Newcastle County. And they're going to inquire about your project, what kind of loan are you looking for, is your business already operating, and they're going to help determine whether or not maybe you're ready to go directly to a bank, maybe you're ready to go be referred directly to one of our participating lenders, or if your business is, doesn't quite have all their ducks in a row yet, maybe you haven't got all your finances together, maybe need a little more help assembling the documentation that the lenders are going to require, then one of our regional business managers might refer you over to the SBDC. So SBDC on this call, and they're there to really help support you and kind of help prepare your loan application for one of our participating lenders, so that when you get to the lender, you're already mostly ready to go. And on the next page, I believe we have some of our regional business manager contact information. Yep. So again, this slide deck will be available after the presentation, but just so you know, wherever your business is located, if your business is located in Sussex County, then, start off by sending an email to Lauren Swain, right? And say, hey, I'm interested in SSBCI, and she's going to help you get the ball rolling, right? And she may refer you to SBDC, or she may send you directly to one of our participating lenders, depending on what stage of the financing process you're in. But again, this will be made available. Also, I encourage you to go to the Division of Small Business website, and we'll have that contact information as well for you here later. Next slide. All right, so who are the participating lenders? We have 3 participating lenders. We have Delaware Federal Credit Union, True Access Capital, which is a CDFI, and Community Bank Delaware. So these are which is our newest participating lender. So we're really happy to have them on the call today. So again, these are the 3 lenders that you may be referred to by the SBDC or by us here at the Division of Small Business. And there's a link to each of their websites as well. All right. Yep. Of course. There you go. de.gov/SSBCI. There's tons of information on there, including information about each of our participating lenders if you wanted to learn more about each of them. And I believe I'm getting ready to turn it over. All right. So I'm gonna turn it over to Jory from Del One to talk a little bit about what they're looking for from a borrower, from an underwriting and a loan initiation perspective. So I'll turn it right on over. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on one second. Let me start my video. My name is Jory Moore. I'm actually our commercial loan processor. So here at Del One. Del One is a federal credit union, and we've been open since 1960. Basically, for our commercial loans, it starts like any other process. We are really looking to get a complete application and get as much of your financial information as we possibly can. We do understand that with startups and newer businesses that may have not filed taxes yet, that you don't have all that information up front, but we do try to get as much information from you as possible. Our process is pretty simple. Like I said, starts with an online application, and then we move you to gathering financial documents such as tax returns, profit and loss statements, business plans, things like that. And the Division of Small Business is a great place to start as you learn about, what tax returns, like what that looks like, how that's structured, creating a business plan. So there's some other tools that you can use as well to assist you. If you could move to the next slide for me, please. We ask for a variety of documents besides financials, like your organizational documents. We just need to know who owns what portion of your business, because that determines signers on loan documents. We may ask for additional documents, but like I said, we really want to kind of get to know your business, have you apply, and then see what we can do from here. What's great about these programs is, like he was saying earlier, what Andrew was saying, was that sometimes with our lending guidelines and our policies, you may not qualify, but products and services like this and programs like this allow us to come alongside. Just as an example, working with someone who was actually purchasing property for their business to help house some of their employees. It is a smaller business and they need some stuff because it's a trucking business to move, house their employees as they move around throughout the state of Delaware and get prepared to move across the country. So we partner with programs like DCAP to help lessen the LTV on that product. So those are just, that's just a quick example of something that we kind of use these programs for. Del One is a credit union. So because we are a credit union, we do require you to be a member and you do have to qualify for membership. Again, that's something that we would go over with you during the application process as to where your business is, because we serve the state of Delaware, parts of Pennsylvania, and parts of the state of Maryland. At this current moment. It doesn't mean that we can't help you or we can't refer you to somebody that can if you're outside of our lending area. However, we'd like to see where your business is located, and we love working with small businesses to get you guys started and to kind of see how we can partner with you for future products. We also offer a variety of deposit products for our businesses as well. We will be launching a new suite of business accounts towards the end of this year. So that will help you with payroll and other things and savings for your business as well. So that will be launching in a few months for our business accounts as well. We do offer not only real estate, we offer commercial vehicles, equipment, lines of credit, credit cards, and unsecured loans. So we do have a variety of products. We also offer developmental. If you're starting, maybe you're a newer business, but you're a contractor and you're building houses. We also help with investment properties, things like that. So there's a lot of things that we can help you with here. And if you don't, if I haven't mentioned a product or something that you're looking for, just make sure that you contact us and ask. Our phone number is located on this slide as well as an email. And then either myself or a person from our team will reach out to you and give you some more information about what we offer. Again, like I said, the best way to start is to start with our online application and then let us take it from there. We do pull credit on individuals as well as your business. So that is a requirement, is a credit pull, and that is a hard pull for us. So just want to keep that in mind when you do go ahead and submit that application, that a credit poll will be done. Did anyone have any questions before I turn it over to Atoya from True Access Capital? Okay, if there are no questions, then I'll move it over to Atoya from True Access Capital.
Jory, can we hold questions until all the lenders speak?
Sure,
Great.
absolutely.
All righty, thanks.
All right.
All right, can everyone hear me? I'm trying to turn on my video, but it says I cannot start it because the host has stopped it. Give me just a second. All right, there we go. So again, everyone, my name is Atoya Leatherberry. I am a community loan officer with True Access Capital. So I'm one of the people who kind of guide you through the entire commercial loan process, from compiling your application package, from underwriting your request, to helping you complete your closing requirements before final disbursement. So again, True Access Capital is a nonprofit community development financial institution, a CDFI, and we are also a certified development company, a CDC. So unlike Del One, we are not a bank, but we do offer funding opportunities to all small-owned businesses. But our mission emphasizes working with businesses located in underserved communities, Black and Brown-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, startup businesses, and low-income borrowers. So we do a lot of business, we do a lot of business where traditional banks typically deem too risky, or typically don't do business at all. So that is our mission. And in fact, this mission does allow us to be a little bit more flexible when it comes to our lending and our underwriting strategies. So for instance, there is no specific credit score that will get you disqualified. And startup businesses often establish their business credit with us. Now, in terms of, the actual application, and excuse me, I don't know if there's another slide after this or not. I'm kind of off script here. But if there is another slide, feel free to move along as I'm speaking. But in regards to the actual application, just like we heard right before, we basically require the same things. You're going to go through a credit check. We're going to ask you for your business plan, your business projections. If you're not a startup business, we're going to ask you for your tax returns and all that good stuff. And really, the difference here is before we actually have you apply, you would talk to someone like myself or another colleague at True Access, and we would kind of get a feel for the project overall before we actually jump into the application. Because a lot of times what happens is people come to us and they are ready to get funding, but they are not ready to apply. So through True Access Capital, we also have what's called the Women's Business Center. And they offer a lot of technical assistance, whether it's helping you compile that business plan, whether it's helping you compile those projections, whether it's helping you really formulate your business and really understand what you need in order to grow or start. We kind of give you that technical assistance. We get you ready for the commercial loan process or the application part, and then they send you over to a commercial loan officer such as myself. And again, it's a 3-step process. You go through the application package first, you go through underwriting, and then you go through the closing process. And we basically hold your hand the entire way. We collect all of the documentation we need in order for underwriting. And in that documentation, it has the signed application, the tax returns, your credit report, and it really gets specific as to what your project is. If you're buying a piece of property, then we need the draft sales agreement or the sales agreement. If you are applying for working capital, then we need you to allocate that working capital in what's called a working capital allocation form. If you're buying a business, we need that sales agreement. If you're buying equipment, we need that invoice, or we need that pricing list that verifies the amount of equipment that you are purchasing with the funds. So we determine what it is you need to complete your package. We work with you to complete that package. Once that package is complete, I myself underwrite your loan. We write up a credit memo, a document, basically advocating on your behalf, running the financials, discussing your personal credit, discussing the future of your business, the prior financials of your business, the future financials of your business. And then once we do secure that approval, we work with you to determine everything else that you need in order to go ahead and actually get your disbursement and close on the loan. So it's basically all the same thing in underwriting. We just go about it a little bit differently because we are a nonprofit and because we have that flexibility. But like I said earlier, we really work in that space where traditional bankers cannot work because of the risks associated with startup businesses and low-income borrowers and things like that. So right now, our loans do range from $10,000 to $800,000. So we are also a micro lender, and our terms range from 5 to 10 years, and our interest rates right now are 8.5%. And like I said, we do offer a slew of technical assistance provided by our Women's Business Center. This includes networking opportunities, grant opportunities, business counselor assistance, a slew of classes, and other good information that you could really get from working with that entity. But other than that, if there are any other questions that you have before I move along to the next presenter, you'll see down here in the contact information that says Lorenzo Marino, which is our director at True Access Capital. But I will also leave in the chat my personal email, and you guys can feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have, any inquiries that you have. If you need someone to explain the process, if you need me to get you over to someone who can help you start the process in terms of your business plan and projections, we can do that as well. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. And we do work together with with Troy and her team. We run these. Well, number one, we do have the Delaware Access Program. That's how we secure a lot of our loans through the Delaware Access Program. And we do work with them doing these programs for you guys when it comes to learning materials and when it comes to getting yourself out there and seeing what learning materials are available to you. And we also have a really good referral program with them as well. We work with them on quite a deep basis. So if you need to reach out to Troy to get to any of our assistance programs as well, please do that. And again, I'll leave my information as well. But besides that, is there any other questions that you guys have for me?
We'll go ahead and bring up Tyler. And Atoya, thank you so very much. And but be on the ready for any questions. We're going to have a Q&A for the lenders right after Tyler speaks.
I'm sorry, you did say to hold that.
No, that's okay. That's all right. And we'll have Tyler Stutz come on now.
There we go. Sorry about that. Good morning. My name is Tyler Stetson with Community Bank Delaware. Just to give you a brief rundown of the bank, we started in 2006. We have a branch located here in Lewis, Delaware. And then we have another branch a couple miles down the road in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. And we have 2 branches on the way coming to the Millsboro area, and then one coming to the new Nylon Capital Center in Seaford, Delaware. The bank really focuses on meeting the needs of Sussex County residents. We are locally owned. We have local management. that make our decisions. So we really pride ourselves in knowing our customers, building relationships. That way we are able to meet the needs to the best of our abilities. Our application process is very simple. You can contact us. I'll leave my contact information so you can get a hold of me to get that application. We require 3 years of business tax returns, a debt schedule, 3 years of personal tax returns as well, a debt schedule, and personal financial statement. We have actually received 2 SBA awards for working with small local businesses in the area. We really pride ourselves in knowing our customers and building these relationships in the Sussex County area. We are centered here in Lewis, Delaware. We have a team of business bankers that are here to help, and anything that you need, like I said, I'm going to leave my information. I don't really know what else I can say. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for letting me share.
Tyler, before you go, can you just talk about your products that you provide before Anitra? And we're not turning on cameras for participants, just so we know. Thanks.
Gotcha. Yeah, we have a full suite of deposit products. Everything's listed on our website. We can really tailor fit our deposit products to meet needs of these local startups. So yeah, that's what we do here. If there's a problem or any kind of issue, when we bring it to the team and we figure it out. But yeah, everything that can be found on our website, communitybankdelaware.com.
Okay. Can we bring Judy in?
Yep.
To the and so she could talk about the commercial lending process. Yeah.
There we go. Sorry for that delay. Thank you very much. Yes, I am just one of the commercial lenders on our team. And actually, what we like to do with clients is meet them in person to help gather the information, complete the loan application, and gather those documents that are needed to make a decision. I think the great thing about commercial lending is that we can be creative with the structure of a loan, kind of think outside the box versus what residential lenders are required to do. And on our team, the commercial lender that you work with, they are your contact person from the start of the process and to the end, to the closing. And we may even bring in our bank president to join us on those meetings. So we look forward to working with small businesses in Sussex County. That's our footprint. And we are super excited to be expanding throughout the county. Thank you.
Great. All right, Andrea, I will hand it over to you.
All right, just waiting for my video to come up. Let's see. I am not seeing me on here, but I'll go ahead and keep talking anyway. Oh, you do? Oh,
Yep.
good. All right. So Troy asked if I would go ahead and take care of a couple of questions that we have. And since these seem to be lender specific, I thought it made a lot of sense to handle those now. One of the questions is there a minimal amount of loan you can utilize? I only need to borrow $10,000. So this is for largely the lenders, but before that, Andrew, I don't think there's a minimum amount to use the program, is there?
There's not. No, there's not a minimum loan amount to participate in SSBCI. So it's all about the lender minimums. And I know that True Access Capital has already mentioned that they can do $10,000 loans, and Del One, I believe, from experience, can even go below that, I believe. So, yep.
Great. Thanks. Jory from Del One, is there a minimum amount for you guys?
Our minimum amount right now is 5,000. We do offer some micro products, but it is on a case-by-case basis. So if it's less than 5, we just like to look at every scenario. So like any other lender, we like to see what you're trying to do, and then see if it's commercial that fits you, or if there's something else within our suite of products that may help you. So right now it's 5, but we can go smaller, but we try not to.
Great, thank you. Tyler, how about you? Does community bank have a minimum amount?
We do not have a minimum amount.
Great. Now, is there a minimal personal credit score one needs to apply for one of these loans?
So for SSBCI, there is the Delaware Capital Access Program does not have a credit score requirement. The Loan Participation Program has a credit score of at least 640 for one of the guarantors on the loan.
Okay, and let's start again with Jory. Do you also have minimum credit score requirements?
We do, but it's a 640 is our minimum credit score requirement. That's what we try to stick with. If it is a little bit below, it's not that exceptions can't be made, but again, if we're using other programs like DCAP, SSBCI, things like, if we're using these programs and they have minimum requirements, that's why we try to stick around that 640 range. Because if you do need extra help, that may be a little bit difficult.
Sure. Atoya, do you have a different one than 640?
We do not have a minimum requirement with us.
Okay.
We have definitely approved people way below 640. So no, ma'am.
All righty, thank you. Tyler.
We have no score that automatically declines either. We're willing to work with anybody.
Okay, sounds good. Next, Tyler, this looks like this was specifically for you. What is a debt schedule and a personal statement?
Judy can answer that a little better than I can.
Sure.
Yes, I'm happy to do that, Tyler.
Thank
So a debt schedule is actually just a list of your current debts, your existing debts. So we would just a short list of who the lender is, the loan amount, and the balance of that loan, and then your monthly payment. And that helps us complete the cash flow for your business. And then a personal statement, it's actually a personal financial statement. And here at Community Bank Delaware, it's a one-page document that lists your personal information as well as your assets and liabilities. And we are happy to sit with you and complete that. We can do that in less than 10 minutes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
And the only other question was, how will I be able to access the recording? It will be placed on the SBDC website and on our website at de.gov/SSBCI by tomorrow. So, Troy, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Great. Thank you so very much. All right. So we've heard from Andrew and we've heard from our lenders. Hopefully you are getting some additional information. Actually, there is one more question that just popped up, and it says, if the business is open for 2 years and at a loss, is it difficult to get a loan of 100,000? And I think that depends on each person's case-by-case scenario and what they mean by difficult or a loss as well. But I will let our lenders answer that. So I'll start with Andrew.
Sure. Yeah. So I think, probably all the lenders will tell you that it depends on the complete financial picture, not just of your business, but also your personal finances. So I think that question, is it difficult, or is 2 years enough? I think that would be a case-by-case basis, and it would include a review of your personal financial situation.
As I thought. So this is a great segue into Tom coming into the fold, Tom Thunstrom. He is our center director for the Small Business Development Center, and he also supports the SSBCI. So Tom, I'm going to segue you in and also give any feedback on that initial question as well, if you have anything different than Andrew, and hand it over to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Troy. And to piggyback on Andrew, if you have operated at a loss, I think the question will be dependent on where the business is headed, and can you realistically put projections together to show that the business is going to turn around. There are different reasons that businesses can have a loss in the first 2 years in different industries. So we have seen that in the past. And, there are programs that are out there. SSBCI potentially could be one of those pathways to get funding. So if you have had a loss the first 2 years and you're working towards break even or headed towards profitability, getting financing to get you over the hump should be doable. It's just depending on the path and how it looks. So that's what we're here to help you with. The SBDC's role is really to be a partner and a resource with the lenders in the room here, but also with the state and with the regional business managers to help those individuals that come to us and come to them and come to the banks, help them out and help those businesses grow and succeed in whatever path they choose to go down. So we've been around for 40 years. We are a part of the University of Delaware. We're funded by the state of Delaware and also the Small Business Administration. And what we do as technical advisors is help businesses that are pre-start in business and have been established for a long time in a number of different things. So we can help them develop business plans or refine a current existing business plan, help them find capital, such as SSBCI or Edge Grant, which is a webinar, which was a presentation that the state has had earlier today, and a program that the state runs as well that's separate from this. We do financial projections as well to help businesses understand kind of what their goals are and where they're going to go over the next several years. We also offer a number of different opportunities in market research and analysis. We can help you with government contracts through our friends at Apex, and also work on digital marketing and e-commerce. So our role within SSBCI, next slide, please, is to be a partner for the division of small business and their regional business managers with any business needs that come to them. So what we're asking folks to do is to actually reach out to the RBMs that request advising, that at the state, at different counties. So you've seen the slide earlier. This presentation will be up on the state's website later on today. So that contact information will be available. So whether it's Lauren, Anastasia, Joe, or David, any of those individuals, depending on where you are in the state, you'll reach out to them first. They will refer you over to us for advising. Our services are free and confidential. We don't charge for advising. We also keep our information under wraps. And if we need to talk to anybody, such as one of the lenders that's in the program, or if it's the state, for instance, or one of the RBMs, we'll have you sign a waiver to allow us to do that. Otherwise, what's said in the room stays in the room, and we work on Vegas rules. So it's pretty much kept under wraps and kept to confidentiality. We meet with you via Zoom and can schedule those sessions out, within days or a couple of weeks, depending on your schedule. What we'll do is we'll work with you to identify what it is that you exactly need. We'll refine any business plan, update your financial projections. We'll help you get everything put together to meet the requirements for whatever lender and whatever program you take advantage of, whether it's the loan participation, whether it's DCAP, or if the lender decides it's not necessarily SSBCI, it's merely just send it to the lender and to be able to work with them through the process. So our goal is to be a partner with both the bank and with or the credit union, and also with the RBMs at the state to help you be able to get what it is that you need. And, we'll get you to the best possible position that you need to get to. So how do you request advising with us? Next slide, please. You can go to the website at delawaresbdc.org and click the blue box to request advising with us. Again, we do ask that you go to the state as well, and that you talk to one of the regional business managers as well. And you can let them know that you are going to work with the SBDC, or you can simply say, hey, you know what, can you refer us over? And then they'll still send you over to us directly. and you'll follow the prompts to fill out that information. It's about a 10-minute process to get set up to request advising with us. And then just mention who referred you over. So that way we can track that it came from an SSBCI referral source, it came from the state, or it came from one of the participating lenders in the program, just so that we're aware and just so that we can keep tabs on who's coming over. With that, I will toss it back over to Troy, and she'll talk about the upcoming events that we have going on.
Great, Tom. But before you go, I just want to make sure, are there any questions from our participants that you may have for Tom in the process, what you may be supported in, how that support looks? So I will open it up and see if there's any questions for any of our participants. All right, great. All right, so we will continue on. Yep, and Andrea just dropped in the chat that contacts for our business managers in each county are also available on the de.gov /SSBCI site. So in addition to that, we also want to make sure, our role is to make sure that you're prime, prepped, and positioned for the funding process, and that you have the tools, tips, and strategies to be able to navigate funding waters. And we understand that this process can sometimes be, for lack of better words, confusing, and it may sometimes also feel like it's overwhelming. But please know that you are not alone in this process. As you can see, there is a lot of wraparound support here from the SBDC, the Division of Small Business, their regional business managers, as well as, Anastasia popped on there. We're going to ask her to say goodbye and hop off screen there. Thanks. So as you can see, there is, as I was saying, a lot of support. In addition to that, we also have an intimate and engaging collaboration with our lenders as well. So it's not something that where we are providing support to you and we drop you off at the door and you go through the door and we kind of leave you there. No, that is not the case at all. And let's just say there is a situation where you feel that, you know what, maybe you're not positioned at this time. However, with some of the upcoming events, the training and the technical assistance that we provide to you, we want to make sure that you are positioned. I want you to think of something. There was a situation not too long ago, and in that situation, there was a crisis. And in that crisis, we saw a lot of fallout, and that was through COVID. Amid COVID, there were a lot of businesses that were not prepared, and they needed to get funding. Are you one of those businesses that is currently positioned for funding if you needed it? I'm not saying that you may want it at this point, but if you needed it, are you prepared? If you are a business that's looking to seek to scale, grow, and sustain and have longevity, then certainly you want to be able to position yourself for the funding process. So with that said, we have some upcoming events that are ongoing and in partnership with the Division of Small Business, and we have some other partners here, the Emerging Center for Enterprise Development, as well as Wilmington Alliance. You will see other partners coming down the pike as well as we deliver these particular trainings. We have one coming up Thursday, July the 30th. You heard the lenders talk about your credit. This one is going to be on credit maintenance and management. So we've already had one on the foundations of credit. This will be a great segue for any of our participants or anyone that that is seeking to not just build their credit, but to maintain and manage their credit. Oftentimes, the misconception is that you can build business credit if your personal credit is not up to par or in alignment with the standards or expectations when it's required by the lenders. However, you do want to ensure that you are prepared for the funding or any opportunities in maintaining or managing your credit. So again, Thursday, July 30th from 11 to 12:15. This will be virtually, and it will be small businesses maneuvering through credit maintenance and management. On Tuesday, August the 6th, from 11 to 12:15. This will also be virtual, small businesses maneuvering through credit repair. So there may be some situations where you are seeking tips, tools, and strategies again on how to repair your credit. And again, I want you to take off any of the blinders that you may have on. And the reason why I say this is because this is not specific to any one area of your business. This is specific to the overall health and wellness of your business. So I just want you to keep that in mind. On September the 24th in Sussex County, this is in person, starting from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's a grants and loans fair, and that is through the SBDC, sponsored by the Division of Small Business. And we hope to see you there because there is going to be a ton of opportunity for you to engage with funders and lenders in this forum, real time, in person, and you'll be informed, engaged, and educated. So with that said, you can go to next slide, please. There is a way for you to learn about upcoming events. And if you go to Delaware's SBDC's website to join our email list and subscribe to our newsletter, that has a circulation of over 17,000. So there must be some pretty significant information in there. I would certainly say to do that. To keep abreast of everything that's going on in your communities. In addition to that, there is an excellent resource also in the Division of Small Businesses, their newsletter, as well as their calendar. So both SBDC and the Division of Small Business have a calendar, and you can find information there when you're looking to engage in additional trainings to, I would say, improve, enhance, and increase your overall knowledge on everything small business. So with that said, we're almost at the 12 o'clock hour. I'm going to turn it over to Andrea. If there are any additional questions, this would be the time to go ahead and ask those questions, or if you have any comments, that would be great.
All right. I am waiting. I am looking. I don't currently see any questions, but please, if you have any, drop them in the chat. I'm happy to help facilitate and answer for you.
Hey, Andrea, it's Jill from the SBDC. We do actually have one question in the Q&A, and I'm not sure that you're actually able to see it.
I am not.
Awesome. I will go ahead and read this one.
Thank you.
So we have one from Angie. Will student loans disqualify a business from borrowing?
I will come on right now just to tell you that no, student loans will not disqualify a business from borrowing. Yeah, we've had people come through this program with student loans, and it's not an issue.
Great, thank you.
Do you see any others, Jill?
That is all that's in the Q&A.
And Troy, I don't have any others in the chat, so that
All
made
right. Well, I'm
my
going to
job
come
really
back off
easy.
camera. Yeah, so this was great. Thank you again all so very, very much for joining us this afternoon. Please engage with all of the partners here. We look forward to the opportunity of taking the journey with you to, again, prepare, prep, and position yourselves for not just scaling your business, but sustainability, which is so key and so important. And I'm certain that each and every one of you that's in business is looking to be in business for the long haul, or for at least an extended time that allows you to be comfortable and in a position to build your enterprise. So I am thanking all of our partners here, especially the Division of Small Business. We appreciate you so very, very much. In addition to that, our lenders, True Access Capital, Del One, and Community Bank Delaware. We also want to appreciate our regional business managers, whom some of which are here today. And you know what? I'm going to have our team just come off a camera so that you can see the people if you have not had an opportunity to see that. So our regional business managers, you see Tom Thunstrom there, the center director. You have a chance to meet him. Samara Savory, she is also a business advisor. You have Lee there. She's downstate. Anastasia Jackson, who is a regional business manager. Thank you all so very much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you back here in October. Ooh, that's a whole new word. I have put out a whole new word, October. I like that word. So in October, we'll see you back here for another information session, and hopefully we'll see you for our next training session on July the 30th. Thank you, and we appreciate you.